Hello, this is Ken Faulkner bringing another knife video for you. This one was a challenge from Courtney over at Apex Alchemy. This is one of those ones that's going around. Everybody's calling each other out, and kind of reminds me of those old emails we used to get, and they say, you know, if you don't pass this one on, you know, bad luck. If you pass it on, your life's gonna be wonderful. I never was big on those, but this is something that Courtney called me out on to do a challenge, and it has to do with sentimental knives. Now, here, this beauty in front of you right now is not one of those knives, but it is something from my childhood. When I was growing up, I bought a lot of crazy knives. This is probably one of the craziest knives I've ever bought. But you know, and a lot of them I lost over the years, but this is one that I managed to keep around. It's quite something. But I'm gonna close this thing up and get it out of the way. It has just about every tool you can think of in here. It's really something else. I don't know. I haven't seen much like this more recently. I'm sure there's stuff like this around though. Certainly some of the Swiss Army knives are packed as much as this one is, but this one's quite a large version of that kind of knife. So, not the best quality, not the easiest to close. Yeah, I'll get it out of the way. Anyway, on to what we're really here to see. 3 sentimental knives. I know Courtney, when she did hers, I think it was all knives that were given to her by other people. This one's not all that way, but this first one is, and I know I don't have a ton of videos out on my channel, but this was from my very first video. And it partially makes it sentimental. Freedom Frog, you know, I've talked about him a lot, and really like his channel. I always recommend people to go over and check him out. But he knew that I had this knife, and he challenged me to make my very first video on this knife. And if you've seen the video, you kind of know a little bit of the background. I've mentioned many times, my girlfriend, she's bought me quite a few knives over the years. But every time she's bought me a knife, other than this one, it's been something that she said, hey, what do you want? Here's some money. Go buy it. This was for Christmas, I believe. And she did the same thing. She said, hey, Christmas coming, don't have anything for you. Why don't you buy yourself a knife? So she said, you don't have a lot of money, so why don't we make it something that's kind of inexpensive? And Kaiser at the time was doing a sale. And this is the knife actually that I ended up buying. And the funny thing is that this was just being used as a distraction, because in the meantime she was conspiring, I guess, I don't know, maybe that's a bad word, but she was working behind the scenes with Bees from Bees Blades to get me the knife that she knew that I really wanted, and that would be this one here. This is a Towser K, another Kaiser, and she surprised me with this Christmas Day. And it is the Serape version, which makes it even that much more special. I'd watched the video on it and was just, yeah, I'd seen these at Blade Show and really liked the design. And they finally came out. Towser K is one that I've been wanting to get for a long time. And so she kind of was paying attention. I didn't know she was. And she worked with Bees to figure out how to buy this thing. She didn't know what to do, so Bees actually bought it and shipped it to us, and she just sent him the money. So that was quite a group effort there, and I was extremely happy. Also, one of the things I liked about it is it comes with this cool case. It's got some little swag that goes with it, this bead, this little keychain thing, and it says rule number 9 on it. See, it's on this side. Rule number 9. It's hard to see, really hard to see, but it's keychain, necklace, something like that. very cool. So this is a very sentimental knife for me. It's always going to have that memory attached to it. Every time I see it, every time I carry it, every time I open it. And it's a good thing. Now, the next knife that I have here wasn't really so much, it definitely wasn't a gift, but it's something that I was at Blade Show. I did a video recently showing this magazine. And the Malibu was the big thing that year. This is back in 2021. And it was just, I tried as I might, never could find that Malibu. Didn't get this one because it's way out of my price range. But at Blade Show that year, and I don't know if you ever watched those videos when people come bursting through the door and run straight to the booth that you want to get that knife that you're specifically looking for. I kind of did that in a way and ended up with this version of the Malibu. This is my first ProTech, actually my only ProTech. And, you know, it's just something that I was wanting to get, couldn't get. And it made it that much special that I was able to get it at Blade Show. And if you see here, this let's get this thing to focus. This is a Blade Show exclusive. This one is number, what does it say? Let me look at it off screen. It is number 65 of 100. So only 100 of this version was made for that show. And one of the nice things it has, other than being all blacked out, is it has this mosaic pen. And that was a little bit different from your standard one that you would buy. So ever since I bought this one, that was my first time going to a Blade Show. This knife represents all those good memories in the fact that I was able to get something that I'd been looking for. I'd spent a lot of money on this, more than I've spent on any knife before this one. And it's been worth it ever since I got it. I just really like this knife. Nice butt lock, open and close. It's got a nice cutting edge there. 20 CV blade. Just really like this knife. Very smooth action. And definitely a sentimental knife for me. And then the third one is this knife here. Anybody that knows much about the slip joints knows who made this knife. And here's the slip that came along with it. The symbol, Jack Wolf Knives. Now, on that same Blade Show where I got the Malibu, I met Ben Belkin for the first time. And he was there. He had a booth, had knives there, but none of them were for sale. He was selling none of them. But they were just there to demonstrate the quality. So I talked with him for a while because I had already heard about him from Brandon Thrasher. He'd already been talking about his knives, and the hype was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And actually, when I was there, even though I didn't get a knife, I got a bunch of this swag here. And you can see it's all this artwork that they have on all the different knives. He had them on cards there. And we were able to grab a whole bunch of them. They got the Javelina Jack, the Low Drag Jack, the Sharpshooter Jack, the Venom Jack, Humpback Jack. I don't even know if I've seen that one. Benny's Clip, Big Bro, Canine Jack, Laid Back Jack. And this one, and I got to see a sample of it there, this one is actually the one that caught my eye the most. So, anyway, had to go home without a Jack Wolf knife that year. But next year, I went to Blade Show West. This time I traveled. I went to Long Beach for my first one, and they moved it to Utah. And I really wanted to go to the main Blade Show in Atlanta that year, but wasn't going to work out. So I ended up going for Blade Show in Utah. And it was in 2022, and it was right around the time that Jack Wolf had already started coming out with some of his knives. They're a little pricey for me, and so I hadn't really been able to afford to just buy any one I wanted. So what I said to myself was, when that Vampire Jack comes out, that's the one I'm going to buy. That's when I'm going to jump on it. And you know that they're not always easy to get either, especially early on. They were selling out so fast. Happens that year at Blade Show West 2022, Ben Belkin was there again. This time he had knives, and this was one of the knives that he had there to sell. It was just, for me, just great timing. Just amazing. Because this is the one that I've been waiting for, and I got to buy it from him directly at Blade Show West. And so there you go. Another set of memories inside of a beautiful, sharp, pointy, shiny object that is an awesome quality knife. Really nice knife. I'm not too big on slip joints, but I do like all knives. But this has actually kind of got me buying a few more into my collection because of Jack Wolf and his passion for slip joints. So anyway, that's my 3 knives that are sentimental. Like I said, I never was into those types of email chains that, you know, go to the next person and say, now it's your turn, now it's your turn. So it's going to stop with me as far as this one. But anybody who's out there watching and you want to do it, I'm not going to call you out, but you can go ahead and do a video like this yourself. So everybody, you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Later.